Good evening. How is everybody? Welcome to Friday Night Live. This is our first Friday night hangout. Who knows? It may be our last. But we wanted to get in and broadcast and hang and just shoot the shit on a Friday night together when a lot of us would be out, hanging out, doing stuff. But we're here tonight, and most of us are stuck at home. And, you could look at that as a negative, or you can look at it as an absolute positive where we get to do something different together with people that we don't normally get to do it with. And that's what I hope that you will look at this as this evening and as you join us. And my whole thing with you is tonight, grab a drink, whether it be this sort of drink or a coffee, a water, whatever you want, and come in, say cheers and say hello. And I'm going to jump in and say hello to a few of you too and throw you up on the screen and kick it off. By the way, if you don't know what this is, who does? No, and I've got a few things planned for the next hour or so, and I'll make sure that that we get to hang tonight. So let's chat a little bit. First things first, I want to say hello to my buddy Richard. Hey, Richard, putting on another pot of coffee and getting ready for some great stuff. Awesome. It's good to see you, Richard. I'm glad you're here. I got my buddy Zach. What is up, Zach? How are you, bud? I hope that you're doing really, really well and you're good. And all's well where you are. My buddy David, it looks like, is here. Hey, David, what's up, man? I wish we were all hanging out in Nashville this weekend like we've done in the past. And I'm especially missing those times right now. So we'll have to get another one planned. So it looks like I'm a little out of focus. So I'm going to try to make sure that my camera focuses on my face a little better. There we go. Good. So Zach says he's got a big old water there. That's nice. Let's see. George. Hey, George, what's up? Good to see you. Glad that you were here. Welcome to Friday Night Live. Cheers, buddy. And Vic, what is up, Vic? It is good to see you. Cheers to you. And thank you. Thank you. So Zach says the good news is that your beard looks amazing. Thank you. I just got done primping it. So just so you know, kind of what we've got here. Let's see. Is that a 1 month bunker beard? This is taking me a while actually, but it's starting to get a little out of hand because I've not been able to do much. We got Gary coming in from deep Mexico. Cheers to you. Hope you're doing well. And let's see. Hey, buddy, what's up, man? How are you? Good to see you. I hope that you guys are doing good over there. We have to plan a hang very, very soon when this is all said and done. Let's see what we got here. We got Donna coming in. Hey, Donna, digging the banners. I love it. Bond, my buddy Bond, how are you? How are you? Bond and I back in the day used to do this, wasn't it like Tuesday nights, Bond? We used to do this all the time. We'd get together on Tuesday nights and rock this out, and we would hang out on Tuesday nights, and we would have a drink, and we'd get a bunch of, at that point, it was a bunch of online marketers. We'd get a bunch of online marketers together, and this is how we would hang out, and it's fun. So, yeah, man, it's good to see you, and I hope that you're doing well and things are going well your way. And so, yeah. So, couple key things. What is this? Number one, well, I tell you what, I'm someone that describes myself as somewhat of an introvert. That doesn't come across here, I realize, but I'm usually kind of to myself. But I'm one of those people that likes to be sort of to myself when I'm around people. And the more you're like stuck at home, the more you realize this stuff. And so, yeah, with this, I've noticed that I've got to be around people more. So I am doing this show pretty much so I get to hang out with you all. And we get to say hello and get to kind of exchange what happened this week and, just have some fun together. So there's my buddy Dave. Let's see, in isolation for years, talking about the beard. Nice. We got my buddy Scott who snuck in for a second. And Scott is on a date tonight with his lovely wife. So Scott just popped in, and I'm sure he won't get to stay, but Scott, it's good to see you too. Buddy, tell Jody I said hello, and I need a big hug from her as soon as we are allowed to do such things. So let's get into it because I don't want to keep you guys hanging. We're going to do this for about an hour. Hang out. If I have enough to talk about for an hour, we'll see. But before we get started, cheers to everyone. I hope that you're having a good one tonight. Grab you a drink. I'm going to have a few while we're here. And we're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about business, and we're going to kick it and get into some good stuff. So first things first, I want to talk about what this is. What is this Friday Night Live that we've decided to do? What's the plan behind it? And what we've got. Hey, what's up, Peter? What's up, Donna? How are you guys? So good to see you. What is Friday Night Live? What is this whole thing that we're wanting to do. As I said, it's something that we get to sort of hang out with each other a little bit, say hello, especially during all this. But more importantly, Friday Night Live's kind of my way of coming together so that we can tell stories. And right now, I think it's super important that we all keep talking, that we all keep sharing how we're getting through all this, strategies that we're using to get through all this, not only from a perspective of business, which is what I usually talk about on a daily basis with folks, but more from a perspective of his human beings. How are we getting through this stuff? And so we're going to have kind of a nice mix of that kind of stuff as we get into this. Donna, I'm so happy to get to see you. I'm so glad you're here. So it's good. It's good that you're hanging. It's good that you're hanging. So first thing is coming together to tell stories. The Friday Night Live is going to be stories from the week. It's going to be us getting together. There's pretty much every single one of you just about that are here right now. You're here because either you are a friend that we've hung out in person, or you've come into being a friend through the business that I have, which is this whole internet marketing thing. And so I'm so blessed to have multiple communities that I've been a part of. And if you're here right now, there's a good shot that we've had an interaction or two together, and I appreciate it. So as I said, this is coming together. Everybody that I've ever sort of been around and hung out and had good experiences with, this is our way to come together and tell stories. And so that sort of brings me to the next thing is we can continue this because I do suspect we'll do this at least for a few weeks while we're all, this way. Who knows how long we're going to be inside, right? But I suspect that we're going to be doing this for a couple weeks. And when we're doing that, I want to bring on some guests, and I want to get everybody in, so you guys can hear from people in my life that are special to me. And you all can learn from some fun stuff, some of the fun stuff that I get to experience on a daily basis. And I'm going to try to bring in some people that I think are fun, that will make you smile and can help brighten the week up for you. So we've got that. The other thing is we're going to be doing business advice. One of the big things that I do is I'm a consultant for a lot of businesses out there, and I help a lot of businesses sort of grow themselves through whatever situation is happening. So a lot of what this is going to have to do with is, it's like I said, it's going to be very personal, a lot of my personal stuff, but it's also, we're going to be talking about, how businesses can survive, how people can survive in the age of COVID-19. And so, buddy, can we get Snoop Dogg? I think we probably could sneak Snoop Dogg on. If you guys will help me work on that, that'd be great. There's my homie, Cassie. What's up, Cassie? How are you? It has been way too long since I've seen your face, and I miss you. There's my man, Philip. How are you? It's so good to see you. And so with all that said, we're going to be talking about some business here and there because I can't get away from that. But more importantly, a report on the week from more of a human perspective, not just business advice, but like human stuff. What is happening, what is going on that we can share with each other to get each other through. And so the first thing I want to talk about, there's going to be a real short segment on business stuff tonight. And it's just sort of my comment and what I'm hearing from people on home businesses. A lot of you right now are running home businesses and you didn't mean to. I started running my own home business probably around 8 to 10 years ago. And so I've been sort of doing that for a while. A lot of you this week were forced into a home business. And a lot of you that work with cool people out there, you've been working from home. And it's not cool when you have to be forced to do this stuff. And so I don't know, this is sort of, to me in my head, this is sort of like the week that home business grew up. And this is where everybody is starting to really get into a lot of the tools that I've been using for a few years with a lot of my online Philly represent. There's my man, Drew Griffin, one of my faves. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. So this is the week, that's the week and month that I think we've really seen at home stuff grow up. And I don't know, some interesting things are happening right now from what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of folks that are saying, you know what, I'm going to try to build something else from home. Yeah, I'm doing a lot from home. I'm learning a lot of the tools that a lot of these people are talking about anyway. I kind of maybe want to start something. This is my time to start something. And I'm going to look into this. So that's interesting to me. I've seen that. I've been using this tool Zoom for like years now. And I have seen people in the last week, I have had more friends, and I'm going to talk about this in a few minutes, but I have had more friends talking about Zoom and how they're using Zoom to do their jobs, how they're doing Zoom to connect to their friends. And like, it's been so interesting to see this thing that has always been great. But we're starting to see a lot more people. How many of you are using Zoom this week, or FaceTime, something that you've been like, maybe you knew about, but you hadn't really used too much, and you've been using that to really start to connect with friends? How many of you have done some virtual parties? And we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. So I want to talk about this because this is really interesting to me. I think that right now, David says, I've been too busy homeschooling to do a lot with that. I love it. Aren't all of us getting into that mode where we're like, it's interesting having our kids home this much, right? So Philip says he's been helping a lot of churches with Zoom. George has been using Zoom for years. That's awesome. So it's really interesting what's happening right now. I feel like I want to talk about sort of the short-term effects that we're going through right now and some of the long-term effects. Short-term, I tell you, it's been interesting because there's a lot of people that, are kind of dealing with new things with their gigs, their jobs. There's a lot of people that are dealing with, being scared about certain things with the economy. And that's scary. I get that. But what's really interesting right now is we're also at the same time, we're starting to see that we can do a lot of things differently. And it's the thing. I've had a lot of friends that said, you know what, Atkins, it's really strange. It's really strange that all of a sudden I realize I can do a lot more from home than I thought I could. And my employer is starting to realize I could do a whole lot more from home than I thought I could. And, that's the thing is we're starting to see a lot of folks that, are commenting on, I wonder what this is going to do, to how I work in the next few months, even when I can go back to work. And so I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. We're going to see, like Bond says, we're going to see commercial real estate tanking away. We're going to see a lot of things change the way that they are for the next little bit. But I also think that we're going to see a lot of people change the way they work because their bosses, or if they're the boss with their employees and with their teams, they're going to start to see the efficiencies of some of this. And I don't know, it's like we're being forced to sort of learn how to work again in against interesting odds. And so when you look around right now, you're going to see a lot of things that I think are very scary, very disconcerting. And at the same time, I want you to kind of be looking around at what's happening with some of your friends that's different. That's different, but it's working in an interesting way. And so, I've seen my real estate friends change the way that they work. I've seen my chiropractor friends change the way that they work. I've definitely seen my nursing friends change the way that they work. Bless you all, by the way. Cheers to my nurse and doctor friends and everybody, from the folks that are doing the custodial work at the hospitals, the folks that are doing the food at the hospitals, everybody that's doing healthcare right now. Big cheers to you for what you're doing. But anyways, I think it's going to be interesting to see the short term and the long term of all this. And like I said, at home business is going to grow up right now. It's going to grow up right now. And it's just because a lot of businesses are going to start seeing some things that are efficient that they're going to want to keep around when all this is said and done too. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And so, I think that's really, really interesting to watch. And so let's talk about the whole point of what I wanted to do tonight, which is I want to ask you because I'm going to kind of move through the business stuff fast tonight and get into just sort of the fun stuff here. I want to talk about things that made me happy this week. Okay. I had several things that made me extremely happy this week. I'm going to go get a few of them for you and show you. So you're going to see me walking around my office here for a minute, which is still a mess. Still a mess because we had the tornado last week and it's hard to focus on a lot of that. But I want to talk about things that made me happy. So I want to ask you a question. What are some things that have made you happy in the last week as we go through all this that have sort of kept you sane? And I'm going to show you a few. I'm going to walk around real quick. So just stay put. I'm going to walk around and grab a few things from the office that have made me happy and kept me sane this week. And then I've got a big list that I'm going to walk you through that hopefully you can steal. But let's go through happy stuff. So I'm going to, real quick, I'm going to be right back. So the first one is this. This is like made me extra happy this week. With work and all the things that were happening, This has been a go-to. Okay. This has been a go-to for me. And the reason is because I had put this down for a while. Like I play a lot of music, but I'd put this down for a while. And some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you about in a couple minutes that made me happy this week caused me to pick this up and just beat the hell out of it. And so this has been like a huge thing just to turn an amp up and to play with this week has been good. Now that's not my favorite this week. I'm going to show you another one. Hang on. So let me grab this. I got to grab this off the wall. It's right over here. And I want to show you this because this makes me laugh every time I see it, which is why it has such a prominent place in my office. So this is my favorite painting in my office. Like my favorite absolute thing in my office is this. And I want to make sure that all of you get to see this. Yeah, right. Drew says on the guitar, Drew says it goes to 11. That's absolutely right. So this is my favorite painting. And I'm going to show it to you just so you can see it. Now we're hiding it behind the mic a little. But this painting in particular is amazing. Okay. And I don't know why this makes me so happy, but it makes me absolutely happy every time I look at this painting, and it makes me smile. So those are all just the silly things that I wanted to put in front of you this week. But the guitar and the painting have been particular sources of inspiration this week as we go through some stuff. I'm going to set this over here. All right, so we're back on the wall. Drew says that's the best thing ever. I agree. It's like my favorite painting in the world. So let's talk about a couple key things that have made me happy this week. And I'm hoping that you all can take some of this and sort of take it into your own place. By the way, odds are pretty heavy that as this goes, I'm going to get more loose as these start to go down. And so please forgive me for that. So I think the number one thing that's made me happy this week is I have this particular group of friends, and they're my best friends in the world. And one of the things that we've been doing is we've been scheduling virtual Zoom parties. And so we've been rocking out these virtual Zoom parties this last week, and we have been really getting on, and it's been like 8 or 10 of us together at a time. And it's funny, you know, you think that a lot of your back and forth sometimes has a lot to do with in person and things you're watching or things that are happening, but just getting together has been really big. We just have literally sat around for an hour or two talking on Zoom, having some drinks together and talking on Zoom. And I would encourage you, if you've got parents, if you've got good friends that you're missing right now, the phone's one thing, the phone's great, but it's not the same as if you get to see their faces and reactions. So do me a favor, like look into Zoom, look into just jumping on there with friends. And I'm going to tell you, this has been one of my favorite things. Now, the other thing that really makes me happy this week, and it's because of you all that are here right now, and I'm going to show this. I think you can see it on my screen that way. Yeah, you can see it on my screen right now. Is for the last 3 weeks, I've been in quarantine, self-imposed quarantine, since I got back from Washington about a month ago. And so when I got back from Washington, before everything sort of blew up nationally, we had this thing where there was someone in Washington near DC that had come down with this. And so when I got back, I was just like, I don't feel bad. I feel 100% good. I was super careful while I was there. This was before everything blew up, by the way. But I kind of had it in my head that I'm like, okay, I'm going to self-quarantine. And then like everything blew up, and it's just been, so I've been here about a month, right? And so about 3 weeks ago, I started this. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but I started this virtual happy hour every Friday nights, because Friday nights when I got out, and thanks, Eric. Eric says, Atkins, I like the shirt. Appreciate that. Now, right? So I started virtual happy hour. It's just something silly that I didn't think would take off. It was just a Facebook post. And every single week, I get on and we do virtual happy hour, and it's like something what you're seeing on your screen right now. And it's just a Facebook post. It's nothing fancy, but every single week, I've got people that are jumping on and taking a picture of what they're drinking, and it doesn't have to be alcoholic. That's not it at all. But every single week, I've got folks that are jumping in, showing me what they're having to drink, and we're sending some good vibes each other's way. And I don't know, like that sounds so stupid, but that has been something that has absolutely kept me going and kept me happy the last little bit. So let's see what Richard has to say. Richard says, we've been using Crowdcast and talking with small businesses in the community to help get the message out and educate everyone on their products and services. That's huge, Richard. I absolutely love that, buddy. That's awesome. So this is the things that are making me happy though. So I just wanted to tell everybody because it seems like such a stupid thing, but I actually had a really good friend tonight that texted me and on my, just a regular text message on my phone. And that person was just like, hey, I didn't see your post about happy hour this week. So I wanted to just text you cheers. And it reminded me that like I should go do that. And it's one of those things where you think all the stuff that I'm posting on my wall is silly and stupid and nobody really cares. But then like when I hadn't done it at the time that I usually do it, I've just been doing this for a few weeks. Somebody called me on it. And so I went and posted. And like I said, it's amazing to me when I am sitting here on a Friday night by myself, how much joy I get out of seeing people do that. And so hop over to my wall and just say cheers. If you're drinking water, if you're drinking an adult beverage like I am, if you're drinking coffee, whatever it may be, say cheers, take a picture of your drink, post it up. That is a huge, huge thing for me every week now. And it really has made me happy. And so, it's weird, the stuff that keeps you going during all this. So let's see what we got. Kathleen, I've been super happy to have more virtual connections with my kids and grandkids, but also happy hours with friends, right? Like this has been the thing. It's like I got on Zoom with my mom the other night and, was just we were walking through fixing something in her house that was like tech related, but I ended up just absolutely loving getting to see her and, getting to interact in a way that wasn't just phone. And then, like I said, on Tuesday night, I got to hang out with my friends and everybody, it was like 4 of us to start and it ended up being like 10 of us when it was all said and done. And we had a really good time with that. So that was an absolute blast. So that's number one, is the virtual Zoom meetings. And then of course the virtual happy hour that we've been doing on my Facebook page, and do go post when you get a sec. The other thing that is big for me, and this makes me smile so much. Can everybody see the lovely redhead on your screen right now? If you can see the lovely redhead that is on your screen right now, throw me a big yes in the chat. And let me know. This is one of my favorite people, by the way. A couple years ago, I was sitting in a bar having dinner with a couple of people that I play music with, and over in the corner was this girl playing, and just one of the most amazing voices I'd ever heard. And come to find out, she's like a good 15 years younger than all of us, and is far more skilled than all of us in the music stuff, that we get in there. But so who you're looking at right now is Delaney. And Delaney Taylor, like she's absolutely amazing. She's one of the most talented musicians I know. And Delaney plays pretty much any time of the week here in where I'm from. You can go see Delaney play. And I've probably seen her 30 times at this point, and it's always like a new show. So the thing that I want to bring up about Delaney, I don't want to talk about just how awesome she is, and we could do that all day. But what Delaney was doing this week, I thought was extra cool. We had a tornado come through this last week. And in this last week, Delaney, along with a few other folks, I think the folks over at our local Chuck E. Cheese, yeah, like they everybody gets together. And so over where like this Chuck E. Cheese is where like the tornado came through, and it was like pretty damn brutal. And so they got together this week and they were doing a tornado relief setup. And so they've been raising funds. And last I checked, they were trying to raise like $500, right? Like just $500 off this virtual broadcast, nothing fancy. And they blew by that in like the first probably 30 minutes or something. Like it was amazing. And so thousands and thousands of dollars have been raised for this local community in the last little bit. And Delaney, a lot of really great stuff that she's been put out there. Also, like I said, the United Way, doing some stuff with her tonight. Delaney has been using her fan base, I think the last little bit around here, to point at a lot of really good causes. And so there's been several things that she's done that I thought were absolutely great. So props to her, and that made me really happy this week. Just getting into some other stuff, and I got some business stuff to talk about too. but just lame fun music stuff. So I've gotten really into this artist, Dodie. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I dig her music. And I've been listening to this song Human. And so this is the song on YouTube. You can go listen to it, but there's a really weird sound, that she has. And I don't know, something about being inside too much. This particularly resonated with me the last little bit. And so like right now, what are you listening to? And I'm going to get into playlists in a minute. But I've had this video on because I don't know, the visuals get me too. But I've been listening to a lot of tunes right now. What are you listening to? What do you guys got going on that has been good? Philip has got a different question. Philip says, Ben, what virtual camera software are you using for your crawl? I'll go through. You guys want me to go through my camera stuff? If you want me to go through my camera stuff in a few minutes, I can do that too. Let's save that for when I run out of stuff to talk about, which is going to be very soon. But remind me, Philip, and I'll go through this setup and how we do this, and how a goob like me does all this stuff and makes it look as professional as it does right now, even though I have no clue what I'm doing. We'll get into that. So let's see. Zach says, this was to the question, what am I listening to? Zach says, I've got a 2-year-old. I'm listening to too much Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood soundtrack. Oh man. Interesting thing. I got to tell a story. This week, this made me smile, but also it was really weird. I got up today and realized that my kid loves YouTube, right? And a lot of these YouTubers that he follows are like really into challenges. So they do all these really interesting challenges. And one of the challenges that he wanted to do was, and this made me smile so much, it made me so happy. But one of the challenges that he wanted to do was he wanted to stay outside for 12 hours straight. I don't know where he got the idea. But anyways, from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. tonight, he literally was outside. He ate out there. He got tired of it, I think, after a couple hours, but he stuck it out. And I went and talked to him about this. And it was amazing. I was like, why are you doing this? Are you having fun? He's like, no, I'm not really having fun. I was like, well, why are you doing this? He's like, I'm doing it for the views. And I'm like, are you even taping this? He's like, yeah. And he pulled out a GoPro and he had been taping like little segments of it. And it just cracked me up to no end. But I think that, he definitely some cabin fever like the rest of us. But it was something that was cool. So Richard says he watched a cool movie about an Arkansas player last night. The movie is called Greater. Great true story about a young man. I'll check it out. I don't know anything about this. So if anybody needs a good movie or a doc recommendation, a movie called Greater, I'll have to go check that out. That's cool. That's cool, Richard. Thanks for throwing that out there. So this video, I've been really into it. I'm going to here's some business stuff for you. Can everybody see your screen? I'll actually make this full screen. On your screen right now is something we're doing with our clients. That is cool. This is just an example, by the way, but it's something we're doing with our clients. All of our clients right now that we have in our agency, and for those of you that don't know, I have an agency where I help small businesses, and a lot of our small businesses right now are closed except for emergencies. And so, like a lot of our chiropractors that we have right now, this is stuff that we're suggesting they put on their screen. And so this is something we've been kind of talking about, and with this, we put it on the websites of our clients, and it's called Ringbot. And what it does is it allows, it's this little pop-up on the side, and it pops up and allows people to put in their number if they need to talk to somebody. So during actual business hours, this will pop up, and it will say, hey, do you need somebody, or you need like emergency care? And it will send a text directly to our clients, even if they're at home. So we set it up that it goes directly to the doctor or the person that's working the front, the coordinator. We send it directly to their phone. And what happens is it bridges the contact between the two. And so we can initiate pretty much an instant call when somebody goes to the website, and they do that, and they can set up an appointment. And so it's a nice bridge. Now, what's happening right now is we have hours that are open hours. And so during off hours, they can go schedule a call back. So they can schedule a call back. So they can say, okay, call me on Monday. That's cool. But what's so great about this, and this is the key, is every time something comes in, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but every time something comes in, I get a notification on my phone. So even if they scheduled for later, I get a notification on my phone and I can pull up and call that person right now. If I think it's an actual emergency, something like that, we could always call and check on them. But that's how that works. So that's something that's made me happy because it's a way that we've been able to kind of help our friends this last little bit. So those are a couple things that have made me happy this week. I got to throw up one more because this one, I just saw this like maybe a couple hours ago. So there's this guy who, when I was coming up and before I knew I was going to be a chiropractor, before I knew that I was going to be anything like a marketer or anything that what I was going to do, there's this cat that was playing music, and I was a musician. I was really into music, and I'm just trying to pull it up on my feed so you guys can see it. But he played in this band called Irish Red, and this Irish Red band was just amazing. They absolutely blew me away with what they were doing, and I got into their music a lot. And I hear from him every so often. Let's see if I can pull this up on my screen. But there's my guy. So his name's Chris Claude. And Chris Claude, you can go to my Facebook, just my profile. And Chris Claude has this song that he wrote in the last 2 days called Strange Times. Now, this is a rough cut of it, but it's awesome. And it's kind of about what we're all going through. And the second that I saw this, it made me smile. And I got a big kick out of this. And it was cool. Like I said, it was something that was very much my style of music. And it was cool to see, somebody put into words kind of what I'm feeling right now. I don't know what you guys are feeling right now, but yeah, it's been interesting. And so this song Strange Times hit me tonight, and it was cool. It was cool. So a couple key things. The next couple weeks when we do this some more, I'm going to make sure we have guests, and, we'll be doing some fun back and forth stuff. I've got to book some people. If you have someone in particular that you think would be good on the show, and who knows what this is even about yet, it's just a cool way to hang. I'll get them on. I'll get them on. And like I said, I think it would be cool to get some musicians on. I think it would be cool to get some of my friends on. I think it'd be cool to get some of my marketing friends on, just to hang out. But let me know kind of what you're into and what you want to hear about. Because like I said, I'm here just to talk to you. Because right now, I think the most important thing that we can all be doing is talking. And so let me know what you want to talk about every week. And we'll do this. We'll do this at least once a week. And we'll hang, and we will keep ourselves from becoming too socially awkward when this is all over. That's the point, right? Is that we can continue to interact with each other in a fun way. Let's see here. Philip says, let's bring on Captain Kirk. That would be awesome. I think it's good. I don't know who the hey is from yet, because it doesn't look like you've tell me who you. Oh, nice. Carol Baskins. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. We got to talk about this. How many of you have seen Tiger King so far? We have to talk about this, right? How many of you have watched Tiger King so far, and who is your favorite character on this? Let me know. Let me know who your favorite character is, because this stuff is crazy. And thanks, buddy, for reminding me of Carol Baskins, because oh my Lord, this has been something that has been cracking us up at our house for the last little bit. I tell you, there was no episode. Oh, so it was Tabitha said, hey, nice, Tab. Good to see you. So yeah, I watched this Tiger King thing, and every stinking episode, I was like, what in the hell is going on? I mean, I can't even figure out what this is all about. And I mean, what's up, Gerald? How are you? It has been amazing. And I gotta say, as I'm watching it, I'm watching this whole thing, and I'm like, man, I'm doing okay. I don't know if you all had the same reaction. It was so entertaining. It was so in left field. But the whole time I'm like, you know what, Atkins, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. And everything is going to be good. What's up, Matt Cox? How are you? Matt Cox, for those of you that don't know, Matt Cox and I were in like one of my first bands ever. And we had a whole heck of a lot of fun. I feel like rocking out stuff in that band. And so it's always good to hear from Matt. I hope you're good, buddy. And yeah, we're just hanging, bro. I'm glad that you got to come hang, and I'm trying to get a little bit of drink in, even though we can't go out and do those things. So it's good to see you. But yeah, Tiger King. What do you say about it? I felt like it made me feel like I was doing okay, and that I was living life all right. But I tell you, the documentary absolutely blew me away. And on one hand, I get really fired up about the animal stuff because I'm like, we don't need any of the things that were happening in this to the animals. And I'm hoping that all of that craziness does push to us treating these animals a little better than they were treated in this documentary. But also, what the hell with some of these people? Like, it's absolutely crazy, some of the things that were going on. So yeah, Tiger King, absolutely nuts. Let's talk about Pearl Jam. How many of you are, I don't know how many of you are Pearl Jammers. One of my best friends out there, Barrett Sellers, he is like this huge Pearl Jam fan. And so this last week, he's been like all of us, he's been trying to get us to listen to this new Pearl Jam album. And I love Pearl Jam, but I just hadn't got to it yet. So I've been listening to the new album, Gigaton, this week. And it's like, it's a different Pearl Jam, but it's like really, really good. Sean says he's obsessed with my beard. Sean, I'm like obsessed with your hair, man. So like we have like this back and forth, and that's good. So yeah, Pearl Jam Gigaton came out, and it's really, really, really good. And one of the things that I'm excited about is getting some time to actually dig into some music. It's funny. Matt says that he finally got some tickets to Pearl Jam, and then it gets canceled, right? He says he was supposed to be going tomorrow night. Matt, that is the thing that is killing me right now is no shows, both local. I go to a lot of local shows too, and there's no shows right now. Like that is like my big stress reliever is going to watch music. And yeah, Pearl Jam shows, like my buddy Barrett that I was telling you about that was talking about Pearl Jam. He books for a lot of bands. He does mostly country, but like he's been having to cancel all these gigs or reschedule them. And it's just like, it kills me to hear that. Cause I'm just like, man. So yeah, it's definitely been a tough thing. Yeah. So a lot of my hardcore folks are here. And I'll get into my playlist in a minute because like I said, I'm going to talk playlists in just a sec, but you guys want me to take you through the broadcasting gear? I can definitely do that. I can definitely do the broadcasting gear stuff. So this is at my house, obviously. Right back here is where I normally do my work. And this is like, if you hear me on a webinar or something where I'm, building something, this is where I normally work back here. Over here, that was on a while ago, but isn't on anymore. It doesn't look like is, let's see if we can't get it to kick back on. We'll see. We'll see if we can get this thing to kick back on. But we just basically have this TV set up back here, and it rotates through logos and things. If I'm paying attention to it, that is. What this is, if I were to actually turn around and show you what we've got here, is I'm looking at this laptop, obviously, with all the fun stickers that my kid and I put on it. But I'm looking at this laptop, and I'm watching the feed, so I can see kind of what's going through. I can see your comments streaming on the site. Would you guys like to see what I'm looking at? I can probably do that. I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at. And you're gonna have this weird mirror effect, but that's okay. Let's see if I can show you this. And I'll go through all this stuff. So you got the weird mirror effect because you're looking at this stuff. But what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at my live broadcast. I'm looking at your comments, which if I click one of these comments, I can throw it up on the screen so you can see you guys, you can see your comments popping up and down off the screen like that. With the stuff that I'm talking about, like right now, the scroll on the bottom is controlled by this, and I can turn it off that way or turn it on. And then like whatever section, I plan out my sections in advance of what I'm going to talk about. So you've got those here, and I can change those. Like this was the section before the month that home business grew up. And then we're here with the things that made me happy this week. And then I can, flash back. I can flash back over to here. So what you're kind of seeing is that's what I'm looking at. Plus, I don't know if you caught it on the far right outside of the browser is like my bullet pointed notes. So you can see sort of all that stuff. And over here off camera, it's just like off camera, like right here is where it's at, where it's just tucked off camera is a different monitor. And so when I'm normally broadcasting the screen and the things that I showed you before, it's a monitor that's over there. This software that I'm using to do this is called StreamYard. So it's StreamYard, and it allows me to kind of do all this fun stuff that we're doing here. And we've got this. And so, yeah, now a lot of this stuff back here, like behind the TV, are those Philips Hue lights. I don't know how many of you know the Philips Hue lights are like my favorites. They're so much fun. And the reason is because from a phone, you can have a lot of fun with what you've got. So you can go change the lights pretty quickly to that. So we can do a little more yellow. We could do a little more green. We can get back into sort of our blue and all this fun stuff. And so there's a nice pink back there. But typically what you're going to see is we've got the blue back in the back. So Mark says, why do you like StreamYard? Does it stream to YouTube simultaneously? So Mark, right now we're streaming to like 4 different places. And I'm getting comments from all of them in one place. I'm streaming to my YouTube channel. I'm streaming to my personal Facebook profile. I'm streaming to my business Facebook profile with my same name on it. And there's a Facebook group that I'm streaming to as well. And I don't know where any of you are watching me from, by the way, because I'm watching all of the comments in one place. I can see if it's a Facebook comment or a YouTube comment, but if you're coming from one of the separate Facebook places, I don't know. Okay, so I can't turn the computer around really to show you this, but what I'm looking at, like right here, there's a light on my face, and it's one light. I don't have a lot of complicated lights in here because I just want to turn one thing on. So we've got a light there. This camera, oh, nice, Creed. What's up, man? And Creed says, all the Greasy Tree boys say, hey, I'm so excited to come see you guys play again and be the guy that's standing in the back because that's what I do. But it will be so good to see you guys play live. I cannot wait. So what's up, John? How are you, man? And so, yeah, so Donna says, can you bring other people in? Donnie, yeah, so I can send out one link to someone and they can get in this, and then I can put them up on the broadcast, and I can put a couple different people in it at once, which is kind of cool. But my camera, so I've got, like I said, I've got another monitor here. So I have like a 2 monitor setup here with the laptop that you can see. And we've got another monitor over here, which you can't really see too much. But if I were to see if I can bring it over without breaking it, you can kind of see what I'm looking at there too when you see me look off that way. The camera is a DSLR. So it's a Canon. This is a EOS Rebel 6 Mark II. And so that's where you're getting, what I like about that is you get depth of field, and the depth of field so this looks kind of blurry here. My face should be in focus, and then you should have some blur back there too, that's it. And yeah, so Philip says that's why I can't see some of the comments, because we're broadcasting to different places. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. And like I said, what happens is I can go in and schedule all this in advance. It'll give people an advance notice. And then from there, it all sort of works. And, hey, Rob, what's up, man? Rob says it's great to see you, Ben. Rob, it's so good to see you too, buddy. And I hope everything's going your way. Don't DSLRs only run for 30 minutes? For a lot of the recording, Michelle, they do just 30 minutes. So if I'm like recording directly to the camera, you get some of the 30 minutes shut off with that stuff. But I'm not actually using this as a recording. So I'm not recording directly from the camera. I'm just using it as a lens. And so I have to, I'm using a couple things. I'm coming out of the USB, and with the USB, I actually have to run this. Let's see how the best way to explain this. I have to set this up so that it's a webcam. I actually run this through something called Ecamm Live, and I use a virtual, it's like all technical, right? I use a virtual cam from Ecamm to send it to StreamYard, which is a big whole complicated mess. That basically what I'm trying to say is I spent way too much time figuring all this stuff out. And if anybody ever has any questions about how to set up your own space, feel free to throw it at me, because I would love to. I would love to throw it out there. So Mark, hey Mark, what's up, man? How are you? Mark says, Ben, I learned funnels from your funnel vision course. It totally changed my career path in a very good way. So if you're feeling blue, know that you made a big difference in my life. Mark, that is like really nice to come in and say, and I really appreciate that. I'm so fortunate that I got into this gig where I have people from all over the world that for some reason dig the stuff that we put out, and they tell me that it's helped them. And so sometimes I won't even hear that. So like right now, I didn't even know that. Like that's amazing to hear. But I hear these things a lot, and there is never a moment where I hear something like what you just said, Mark, and it doesn't hit me in a way that just blows me away that this is what my life is. And so I really, really appreciate that. Cam Link is a hardware that will turn into a webcam for you. You mean this thing? So this is sort of my next step. Let's see if I can get it in there. This is a piece of hardware that I just ordered. The problem is like I'm running through USB right now, and this runs through the HDMI stuff. So when I actually do this, I've got to turn off all the things that are coming out of the USB. So like usually there's a little grid, and then there's a focus thing. I've got to turn those actually off if I'm going to use this, because if not, when I'm running through the USB part of this, Zach, you don't see any of those things, even though I could see them if I were looking at the viewfinder on the camera. When I run through USB, it turns the viewfinder off, and I actually have to turn those things off so I want to switch to this because the delay is a little bit less, and I don't have to use Ecamm is an in-between, but I've got to do a couple edits before that. So that's my next project, just so you know. So by the way, that is a great recommendation from Zach. Anybody that's has a DSLR and it doesn't have a USB way out, this Cam Link thing is pretty stinking awesome. So good call, good recommendation. Do you use I'm getting lots of technical questions, and I'm glad to answer them. We got about 15 minutes left, so I'll do that till we're done. Stacia, am I saying that right? I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Do you use the pro version of Ecamm Live? Yeah, to use the virtual cam, I have to have that. And so that's why I did that. Let's see. I've clicked a lot of your buy buttons. Thanks, Ben. Rob, you're amazing. Rob, we had a really good dinner together the last time we hung out, and we need to do that again as soon as we can go outside. That should be fun. Mark says, I have Cam Link. I have the Cam Link 4K as well connected to my Sony RX. Oh, nice. RX7, and it works great. Awesome. So Michelle says Canon to Ecamm and then Ecamm to StreamYard. But like I would say, okay, so Michelle, you've got a T7i. So with your T7i, this is going to be amazing for you. Okay. And I don't know why it's having you shut it down. Are you having it only shuts my camera down when I'm recording directly to the card. It doesn't shut it down when I'm doing this, like live streams, because I think we've been on here for almost an hour now. It only shuts my thing down, and there should be some settings, but that's weird. So it shuts it down when you're using it as a webcam. Interesting. Nice. Okay. All right. Well, help me figure that out, because we have a T7i too that we love. I think I'm about to buy another T7i, and we want to figure that out with you. So interesting. Let's see here. What else do we got that I wanted to talk about? Oh, playlist. We oh my God, we almost missed playlist. So one of the things that I want to talk about, what I'm listening to this week, as I said, I'm listening to Pearl Jam's Gigaton, and I think that that's awesome, and I can't wait to go see another Pearl Jam show. Oh my gosh, you guys want to hear a story that I shouldn't be telling you? If you want to hear a story that I should not tell you because you're going to think less of me, type something in the box that just say, yes, I want to hear a story that you should not tell us. And I'll tell you a story. While we're doing that, I'm going to go get another one of these. So hang on. By the way, having a refrigerator in your office is an excellent investment. So we're going to crack this open. And these are, yes, we have to use a bottle opener with these because, yeah. So a few years ago, there was a Pearl Jam show that I went to. And yes, this is absolutely shenanigans. I went to a Pearl Jam show with my wife and a bunch of my really, really good friends. And it was in Memphis. And one of my friends, I don't know how he pulled it off, but one of our friends hooked us up with we were able to get into this suite at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. And so we were in this suite, and it was a bunch of us. We were around a table. It was like, we're watching Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam comes on. It was good times. The problem is this, I don't overdo it real often. I don't. But that particular night, I overdid it, and a few of us overdid it. In this suite, they had packed it with drinks, and we didn't have to go run to a concession stand. And so we had drinks, and whiskey, particularly Jack, is my preferred thing. And so I was drinking some of this, and just had a good time. I didn't feel like I was overdoing. I thought I was being responsible. I was there with my friends. We had a hotel next door. There was not going to be any driving. That's the problem, right? When you don't have to drive, when you can, you're with people that will take care, like you just sort of let your guard down. And so I'm listening to Pearl Jam with my friends. We're having a blast at the show, and I'm not going to mention any of their names because, to protect the innocent. I'm listening to this show, and I get really upset. The show ends, and I get really upset. I get really, really upset. And the reason I got so upset is Pearl Jam comes to Memphis, Tennessee, and they only played for 30 minutes. Can you guys believe that Pearl Jam only played for 30 minutes? So I was upset. I was talking to my friends who had also had a little bit to drink. They were upset too. They were like, how dare they come in here and they only play 30 minutes? Okay, so I walk out with my friends. We settle at a bar next door, and I'm upset. I'm definitely a little bit, worse for the wear after the free drinks, but I'm really upset. And I'm like, I cannot believe that I've never seen Pearl Jam before, and they come to Memphis, Tennessee, and they play a 30-minute set. Anyways, so I get to looking because I was like, well, what songs, I was having a good time with my friends. What songs did they actually play? So I pull up the set list, and I start tallying up the songs. Pearl Jam had played a 2.5 hour to 3 hour show. 2.5 hour to 3 hour show. And I mean, I made a big deal out of this coming out, but for some reason, I guess the particular Jack had, impaired my sense of time that evening. And I was that guy for a couple minutes that was upset that Pearl Jam played a 30-minute show. When, as a matter of fact, it had been a 2.5 hour to 3 hour show that they had given us. I had just had a little too much of the free drinks. And so the moral of the story here is, kids, is be careful with alcohol. And when you're going to see one of your favorite bands play, don't overdo it so that you can actually enjoy the show. So that was the last Pearl Jam show that I saw, and I'm really excited to go see them support whenever we get out of quarantine. I'm really excited to see them perform live again, and I want to see them support Gigaton because it's a good album. A couple other things I'm listening to this week. One of my go-tos, Pearl Jack. I love it. Drew says Pearl Jack. Zach says Time Warp Jack. I love it. Yeah. So it is what it is. But anyway, so London Grammar, there's a band called London Grammar, and this is something I work to all the time. Like, so when I'm putting together a webinar late at night, there's an album by a band called London Grammar called If You Wait. And it's not going to be for everybody, but it's definitely one that I get into in a big way. And it's something that I've listened to as background for work for a very long time. So there you go. The other one, this is an old one. This is like from way back, and when I was, I guess, in junior high, but I got really into this week, like early on. I got really into Alice in Chains, Unplugged. Again, I hadn't listened to it a while, and I listened to it all the way through this week, and it brought back a lot of memories. And so I've got a couple more things, but I've got a couple questions. Ben, your Facebook video set background rocks. How did you build it out? Green screen, special lighting effects, etc. I actually went through that. I was actually going through a little bit earlier of how, we've got the lights and we can switch the lights back there and how it gets all trippy all of a sudden. But what this is, like I said, right behind me, there's a TV. This is what this little box here. And like I said, usually if I'm paying attention to it and I'm not on here for 900 years, there's a logo on it. And let's see if I can actually figure out. Okay. So there's the little logo that pops up on it. And behind that TV on it are the hue lights. And with the hue lights, that's, as I said, how we can go in and we can switch, a lot of what's going on. But this is just my office. This is just basically my office. And this is where I get to work every day. So like I said, if you want to, after this is over, scroll back and you'll get a sense of what we've got. So I'm going to try not to party foul anymore. That's what happens when we get late night. We start spilling our beer, and it gets fun. So I expected that, actually. I expected at least one spilled drink, and I did. I actually timed this right. I actually had it written down in my notes. Ben, like it's over here. Ben, you're going to spill something right around 10, like for me, because I'm on Central Time, right around 10:50 is when I fully expect to spill something and start making an ass of myself. And I'm pretty much on schedule. I am on schedule, if nothing else. And so that's good. I love it. So cheers. Cheers to Party Fouls and me doing it live on screen. So where does the wood backdrop go? So the wood backdrop that you guys have seen in a lot of my videos that's a question from Zach, is usually right there. So typically these things, let me see if I can pull these up, because why not? Typically we got, and see, you can see the party foul where I spilled something. So bad, so bad. I've got these things, and these things go up in the sides here. And with that, the wood backdrop goes there. So that's how that works. And it's just down right now because I wanted to switch up what we've got. So there you go. There you go. So yeah, London Grammar, Allison Chains, Pearl Jam, Gigaton. That's what we do. So I gotta say, props. Week one of Friday Night Live, we had a good crowd. Thank you guys for being here. I'm gonna sew up. Like I said, we're gonna have some guests coming up. It sounds like we're gonna be in isolation for a little while. Minus one quick little party foul on my part. I'd say we rocked it this week. You guys were amazing. You guys had a ton of good questions. I'll try to show up every week with something fun to talk about and walk you through this stuff. Let me know what you thought of it. Was it fun? Did you enjoy this at all? Was it boring? What'd you hate about it too? Let me know. I'm going to keep telling you about the stuff that made me happy. I'm going to keep telling you about business stuff that rocked this week. Hey, what's up, Nathan? How are you, man? And Nathan, as soon as possible, we got to hang out, and we have to go get a beer. And Nathan is one of my good friends that's in the real estate business. Nathan, you and Zach that are here. You guys should talk. Nathan is in the real estate business. Nathan has been doing these amazing video tours over the last little bit to sort of account for not being able to take people through houses lately. And I think they've been absolutely amazing. So yeah. So yeah, everybody bring alcohol next week. Ben's buying it and says, Jared, I love it. And let's see. I hope you guys had fun, buddy. It was so good getting to see you and Jody. I hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, somewhere on this screen, there's some sort of notification. I have no idea how it works, but there's some sort of notification that you can hit, and it will let you know when I go live or when I've got a live coming up. John says, by the way, I'm wearing my Serial Progress Seeker. Your shirt, nice. All over the house. Nice. I love that. We need to give away some t-shirts next week. Like, we should give away some Serial Progress Seeker t-shirts, and I'll wear mine next week too, and we'll do it up. If you guys want me to do this every Friday, I'll do my best. We'll see what we can put together. We'll rock it out, and I will try to put this on for you every week. So what am I doing next? Number one, I am changing shirts because apparently I'm not an adult and can't get on a live stream and drink without spilling my beer on me. And then I'm going to probably get on and play some Xbox with my friends. And we got this poker game. And it's this poker game that we can play online together, have a few drinks, hang out with each other, and rock it out. Would love to have you on my Living the Law of Action show. Hit me up on DM me, because I can't see who you are actually right now for some reason. And we'll go from there. Do me a favor, show up next week, and I'll give away some shirts. We'll give away some shirts. I'll send you guys some shirts, and we'll do some fun stuff. Zach says next week, wet t-shirt contest starring Ben. Nothing like scaring the people off that join the live stream. I like that. Let's do it. Yeah, I had fun. Little shenanigans, a little bit of this is behind the scenes. This is the real all of us on a Friday night. I feel like that's what we should be doing. It sucks that we don't get to hang out in person, most of us. Rob, okay, so for Rob, I could see you earlier, but I can't see you now for some reason. That's weird. So Rob, I'm in, man. Like, send me a DM and we'll make that happen. Like, just tell me where to be. I'm on it. I am absolutely on it. That sounds like an absolute blast. So yeah, we'll do it up and we'll rock it out. Thanks. I appreciate you all being here. Like I said, I'm gonna go play some poker with my friends on the old Xbox and close the night out strong. So love you all a ton. I hope you had a good week. I hope that it wasn't too stressful for you. It's been kind of stressful out there. I get it. If you need to jam, let me know. We're around. I'm around. I'd love to talk to you either online or on the phone. Let's jam. Let's talk about things, whether it's business, whether it's life. Let's get through all this stuff together. And thanks for being a part of this week and hanging out. Next week, show up Friday night. We'll try to do this at the same time. I'll get something scheduled here really quick, and I'll give some shirts away. We'll give away some Serial Progress Seeker shirts, and maybe I can figure out some more cool stuff to give away. And I'm going to see if I can get a guest on for next week. Get somebody to come out here and shoot the shit with me and talk about stuff. And I'm pretty sure I've got a good idea of who I'm going to bring on already, because that could be fun. Okay. All right. Super professional live stream. We got a beer and a half in, not even a beer and a half, a beer and 3/4 in before I spilled something. I'd say that's a success. I got all the way to 10:50 before I spilled something. So that's a win. We'll see if I can beat that record next week. All right. Be good. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me on this Friday night. I hope you had fun. And